Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Carrie, and today I thought we'd do something a little different. I want to build a book nook for my shelf, and I got this one from my sister-in-law last Christmas, so I thought it would be a good idea to build it. So, yeah, and this is my first time building one, so yeah. Hopefully this doesn't end in disaster. So let's get into it. I made it to the second wood package from package B, and I've learned some things. First, these are very breakable, so you have to be really careful. Also, yeah, it's not like cardboard where you can just like punch them out, because you will break them like I did this one. So as you can see, like right here, I broke it a little bit, but thankfully I had some wood glue and I was able to put it back together. And yes, please use wood glue with these because this is wood, so use the correct glue if you do break them. And they do give you glue in the package, but I'm not sure if this is wood glue. I'm assuming that it is. And I didn't want to use this just in case I ran out. So, but yeah, I think what you're supposed to do is that like where there's like a little nub in the wood where it connects it, you're supposed to stab it and then snap it off so that it's easy to remove. I'm not sure if I can put that one. There. And then if there's a bit of wood, then you're just supposed to like gently like peel it off. And then you sand it. So I'm slowly learning. There's quite a bit of wood to go through with this, as you can see from the instructions. There's a lot to go through, so I'm gonna skip ahead and try and get these all done today. And yeah, so learn from my mistakes, guys. Do not just punch them out because you might break a couple of these pieces. So I'm now onto the fourth package or wood thing for B. I've got 3 left, and for my previous explanation of like stabbing the sides here, I just want to reiterate, because I figured this out, that you have to do it on both sides. So I'm doing all the nodes here, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the nodes on this side until I hear it pop or crack, because then I'll know that it's off the package. Oh, see, now it popped right out. The bigger ones are easier to do. I find the smaller ones are pretty tough. Now they're all out and undamaged. Because I was finding if I was just doing the one side, that right where it was connected, some of the paint would come right off if I did it only on one side. So if you do it on both sides, then you don't risk that. So yeah, the smaller ones are much harder, so I can see that I'm gonna have a hard time with all these little tiny ones. But like if I just gently just stab it down. And I pulled this out because I was indenting the table underneath, and I didn't want to damage my table anymore, so I used this to kind of cushion it. And sometimes you can get it right off the bat, and then if you hear it like kind of snap and then it feels a little bit looser, then you already got the node and you don't have to push it down on the other side. You You see, you heard that crack, right? Whoa! See what I mean? The smaller pieces are harder. I'm gonna kind of break this one somehow. Trying to get the node. Don't want to break it. We've already done enough of that today. There you go. And undamaged, which is what I wanted. Okay, so I just finished cutting out all the wood, and now we're going to move on to putting things together. So on to the next page. Up here it says C package, which is purchase the upgraded version materials and additional. Of course, I don't have that. I just have the regular package, so we're gonna ignore that. So now it tells us usage of paper accessories. So now we're gonna look for FO32-1 and FO32-2 paper. It says it needs to be cut out with scissors, put the glue on, and then stick with the corresponding wood. So it gives an example, A184, and then the wood piece is B62. So this is B62, it's all cut out. And then on this package, we're gonna use this, but I don't think I really need to cut it out because this is paper, so you can easily pop it out. Just gotta be very gentle about it. I'll put that. I'm gonna keep all that together because I know I'm gonna forget which one's which. Glue this onto here. So I'm just gonna look for any defects to make sure that I kind of hide it with the piece of paper. And it wants me to put the glue on the edges of the paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this kind of like toothpick piece of wood. You could probably use something smaller if you want to. So, ooh. Is this like paint? I thought this was glue. Now I'm not so sure. Okay, I think that was paint. It's all in a different language, so I have no idea what that says. I'm assuming it's paint because I've never seen green glue before. So I have some wood glue, so I'm just gonna use that and hope for the best. So I'm just gonna spread a little bit around the edges. Okay, now I'm going to use my tweezers so I don't get my fingers all gummy. Where did I put this? Oh, right here. think that's pretty good. Okay, so our next step is this one. So we're going to take from F032-3 paper, so this one, and we're going to try and remove A119 and A118, so these ones. And I think these ones are stickers, so it tells us that we can use tweezers to peel them off because they're so small. And we're going to take our B82 piece of wood and we're going to stick them on. Okay, so I've glued the B82s together, and then I realized I could have just flipped the number over, so this one's kind of up top, but we're going to be putting the wand stickers on top of it anyways. And I noticed that on the picture, I'm pretty sure that's the Elder Wand, and isn't that Voldemort's wand? Anyways, that's really cool. I don't know who's this one or this one, but those two are very recognizable, and I think that's really cool. So let's try and stick these on. I'm trying to fold the paper a little bit just to try and get a corner to pop out, so I can use the tweezers to pull it off. There. Okay. Super cool. Okay, so I finished sticking all the wands on there, so now I'm going to move on and add these A118, because that's what it says in the instruction right here. So, and I think it goes on each box, which makes sense to me. I just don't know which one belongs to which, so I'm just gonna stick them on kind of willy-nilly. Okay, so I just finished sticking on the wands and the backs to the wand boxes, and I don't know, guys. Like, I recognize these two. I'm not very well versed in Harry Potter wands, so if you want to let me know in the comments whose wands these are, that would be awesome, because I'm really curious as to whose these wands belong to. It'd be cool if one of them belonged to Harry Potter, but I don't think any of these ones do. Right here. So we're going to take paper F032-4, and I think when it says it has the tape at the back, I think it means it's sticky. Tear away the paper accessory and stick them onto the corresponding wood directly. So B68. So that's what we're gonna do. So I have 100 is this one, and we're gonna stick it onto this piece of wood. Oh boy, look at that. I think I nailed it. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside and we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so the next step, which I'm a little nervous to do, is we're going to start making some scrolls. So we're right here. So it says using an awl to make a scroll. So an awl, if you guys don't know what those are, is this tool. And I believe it's for woodworking. And this is the smallest one that I could find. I'm sure you could probably use like a pen or a small screwdriver. So in the instructions, it says that we're going to use the awl. We're going to roll up A161, which is this one right here. And then we're going to glue it together. It's not very good. That's the best as I'm going to get, I think. Let's set that aside. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, I think the second one is a lot better. I kind of smooshed it a little bit, but I think that's pretty good. We are going to take A138 and we're going to fold it like so, and then we're going to glue each page together so it kind of makes a book like that. So, and A138 has a bunch of little books, as you can see. So I'm gonna take these out and then we're gonna proceed to make books. Okay, all of the books are all done, as you can see here. So now I'm gonna move these off to the side and we're gonna move on to the next step. Carts and parts. So we're going to take out from F32-4 A156, which is this one, and we're going to stick it onto B68 like that, and then afterwards we're going to stick A157, which is this one, and stick it onto B81, which is like super tiny, and then it's gonna be like sitting like that. Whoa. And voila. Okay, so on to the next step. We are going to be doing some envelopes from F032-1. We're going to do A159, so we'll fold these, and then we're going to make some little magic bottles, which I think that's going to be really cool. Okay, so I finished making the postcard package and the letter package. I have 2 left according to the picture, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to add it to one of the packages or if they're just by themselves. So I was gonna set them aside for now and we'll revisit later. So next we're gonna do the little magic bottle 1 and big magic bottle 1. So here are the pieces that you're gonna need. And these are in package A. Okay, I have put these together. I'm gonna be super gentle. This took a few minutes. This was not easy to make. And I don't care that it's a little crooked. Nothing will be perfect, right? So this is what it should look like. It's kind of cool. Anyways, now we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're on to the next part. So this is the new section that we're doing. And it's telling us to get a black thick wire and the thin gold wire. So this is it, and it's a really long piece of wire, so you're gonna have to cut it. So that's why it says 1-to-1 ratio. So you essentially just measure it, and then you take a pair of wire cutters and then you just cut the pieces that you need. So I already pre-done that, so now it wants us to curve, like wrap around the gold wire around the black wire. So that's what we're gonna do. So it's saying to start at the 2.2 centimeter position of A15. So this is A15, so I think it's like around there. And judging by the picture, they have like half of this bent over like so. And then now we're just gonna wrap it around. And it's gonna look like that. So I think it's supposed to look like that, and you're supposed to cut the end, like the excess off, but I think I have just enough. And then you're supposed to take this bit. So when I look at the picture, there's actually that much left on it, so that's quite a bit of the black wire sticking out. And you're supposed to wind the other side, so like that, around itself, I guess, to kind of like tie it. And then we're gonna take A25, it's like a jewel, and A161. So this stuff right here. Whoop. So it's like that. And now we're gonna take one of these gold foils, and we're gonna wrap it around this. Okay, so I applied some pressure as it said, and so now this is what it should look like, I think. And now we're gonna add a 62 bead to the end, which is this bead right here. So now it says to just stick that on like so. And then we'll make the card for it. Okay, so after making the gold wand, now we're gonna start making the suitcase. So we're gonna take the pieces B73, B74, and B72 and glue them all together. And then we're gonna take A155, and I've already done it. We're gonna take this piece and fold it together so then we'll make it into a nice little box. And then we're gonna all glue it all together. Okay, so I just glued the pieces together, so this is what it should look like. Looks pretty good. So now the instructions say that we are now going to put this like so, and we're gonna glue the sides together. So it should look like that. So now it's all glued together, and looks super cool. So now it shows us, so to put this piece on top, so we're going to glue that there. So if you remember, we already did this a few steps back, and it was this piece. So they want us to glue it like that. So next we're going to be making the broom. So we're going to take a 158 and stick it on to B89. Like so. So next up we're going to be making the Marauders map. At least I think that's what that is. And this wheel thing. Got your Marauders map. Now we're gonna glue onto the white tube these things so that it will be kind of like a wheel. So I think that's for the cart, and I believe that's what we're building right now. So yeah, we're just gonna glue that together and it'll look something like that. Okay, so the next step was to fold the newspaper, which I've already done. This is the smallest newspaper I've ever seen. Okay, so the next step is that we're going to be making this leather satchel. So it tells us to cut out the leather using 14A template. So this is the template that they're talking about, if you're wondering. And you can take the pieces out. And all I did, because I already cut the pieces out as you can see here, is that I took the piece of leather and I just kind of went on the back and I used my knife and I just kind of traced around the edges until it was traced enough that I can use scissors to cut it out. Okay, so I got the leather scroll. I did it off camera because it took me a few minutes to let the glue adhere to the leather, and I found it was easier to just roll it in my fingers than trying to use this to make the scroll. So now we are going to take B76 and we are going to glue this onto the middle of it. Okay, so I've put the little jewel on. That took forever again. It's so tiny that the tweezers kept flinging it everywhere, and then the glue wasn't just sticking, and then the glue was everywhere. So I think I've got it cleaned up enough that it looks decent. And I remember how I said in instructions previous that for like the letters, the extra ones that we had, well, this is where it's supposed to go. But we still have one more, so I'm just going to leave it to the side. It doesn't really say exactly where it's supposed to go, so I'm just gonna slide this in. Now we're going to be gluing these pieces to this piece. I think like this. So it's gonna look like, look something like that. Okay guys, I finished gluing some pieces together. I went ahead and just did the rest of the building of the cart. I thought it would be easier to just do the steps. I think it's kind of straightforward, so I put these all together. I put back here with the leather strap or the leather pouch and the letter, and this, it said to leave a gap of 0.5 centimeters from this part up to the edge of this part, and then I put this black little cage around, and you can see that there's a gap here, but if you look at the picture, it's supposed to be like that, which I think is odd, but it is what it is. It's in place. Put the handle on, put the wheels on. They're not functioning, and I do not want to touch them because that took forever to have it stay still. And I thought it was supposed to be straight, but it is supposed to be a little bit at an angle when you put it down. So now we're at the part where we're going to be adding all of our little pieces that we built up to this point. So I'm back, and I ended up having to glue everything. So this is our end product. It looks pretty good. I tried my best to get everything in place exactly. My newspaper and my scroll is a little bit bigger than in the picture, but I think it's pretty good. So let's take a comparison. So that's what it looks like, and that's what we have. So I think that's fairly good. So, and we also made, so these are the parts that are left. So I think that's for the next section, which I will continue on in the next video. So if you like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in part 2. Have a super fantastic day. God bless. Bye.